My name's John Kenny, and this is my colleague, Lindsey. We're part of the Hidden Harm Focus Group, and we're going to kind of ad-lib here because we don't really stick to any agenda, or at least we try not to. So we came up with the You Use, Your Children Lose campaign. So I'm just going to click onto the next one if this works, and it doesn't seem to. There we go. So, the focus group has been meeting since November 2009. It was started around about 10 of us, and there's now 2 of us. We have relevant substance misuse experience, and I'm quite happy to put my hands up to that. I'm sure Lindsey doesn't mind divulging as well. And the reason we think that we have got a good impact is because we can get through to people that are actually using, because it's basically to catch a thief, employ one. We tend to get a bit of a better repertoire going. So with that, Lindsey, I'm going to kick you over to that one. That's gone wrong. Anyway, but there you go.
Basically, why are we all here? It was, sorry, you have to bear with me a minute. It was estimated that it's about 1.3 million children that are living with a family that have a drinking parent. And we wanted to do a symbol that would be easily understood. So we came up with, this is supposed to be Wembley, which seats about 90,000, and I think we estimated that it would take 14 and a half?
Yeah, thereabouts. 13 and a half.
13 and a half Wembleys. So that gives some sort of visual idea of how vast this problem is.
Yeah, that's, if you put a child's backside on every one of those seats, that's how many children in 2004, I think the government estimated, that had parents that were problem drinkers or substance misusers. Now that was an estimate by the government, and I don't think they overestimate. And that was in 2004, so you can imagine the problem is enormous. So we were brought together to try and address this situation and make it accessible for people that are users to come along and find out what it is we're actually doing. We're trying to raise awareness to everybody involved in as service providers, the general public, practitioners, doctors, everybody, because everybody's got children, so we're all kind of responsible in a way. We're looking at developing the knowledge about this. We're trying to get public information out there, maternity services, professional groups. We're trying to improve and prevent this ongoing disaster that's happening, that's been hidden away. So what we're trying to do is we come up with a poster campaign, and Lindsey's going to talk you through these. These are the 3 poster campaigns that
yeah,
we come up with.
We basically came up with 3 designs. This one that you see here is the hard-hitting one. There you go. The two sort of illustrations on the left and the right were the ones that we would consider to be hard-hitting. And those would go in places like hostels, service user groups, that sort of thing. The one in the middle, the iceberg one, is for general release, such as doctors' surgeries, libraries, or anything else like that, police stations, this, that and the other. Again, we wanted something that was visual, something that people could relate to, something that people would sort of stop and it would get them talking, basically. It's very much a focal point, very much so with the ones on the left and the right hand side.
Yeah, this is the core of our campaign here. This one here, it just goes to show that it's just the tip of the iceberg, what everybody sees, that there's all sorts of, a myriad of things going on underneath that are causing all sorts of problems. So this one goes up in general areas where the public can not be too scared away from it. But in reality, this is what's happening. Parents are injecting behind closed doors. They're drinking behind closed doors. Now this little girl here, this is Lindsey's poster by the way, she's responsible for this. It's kind of, look, she's wearing her mum's shoes. Well, why is that? Because parents, what they do, their children copy them. Now, this is behind a closed door, but that kid knows what's going on. They're like sponges, they know what's going on. You don't need eyes to have vision. She sees this going on. She doesn't know what it is, but she knows that mum comes out and can't put two words together. So that's why we wanted these hard-hitting poster campaigns to be initiated wherever they can go. So if you know anywhere where you can put them there for us, please. That's sort of basically what we want to happen. So, Lindsey, let's have a look. What have we got now? So we're looking at expanding professionals' knowledge of hidden harm. Well, I'm sure you all know what's involved. It's not just parents using drugs. It's their children being left unattended, unfed, in dangerous situations, maybe in houses where there are other people using drugs. The doors are open to all sorts of things because drug users, generally speaking, aren't particularly pleasant people, and neither are drug dealers. So we have to be very careful about this. With regard to service users, that's our first stop of actually catching people, because the service users are the people that are in touch with parents of children. They can get the message across. That's why we've got these hard-hitting posters that were up a moment ago in service user groups, so that if they've got any friends that are parents of children, they can put the word across that your children won't be taken away from you necessarily, unless you're doing something completely wrong. But it will be seen that if you go and ask for help, it looks a hell of a lot better for you and your children. If you're looking for help, you're halfway there. So it's not about taking people's children away, it's about keeping them there, which is basically the idea.
What the problem is, isn't it? It's that people are so scared that the children just can automatically be taken away, which really should be a last resort. We want to keep them within the families and make it work within the families, because that in the end should be the best for the child. So it's just breaking down those barriers of the sort of them and us mentality and saying that we can actually work together and you can have a better outcome for the children involved.
We've come down to the last bit on here. So that speaking about problems and asking for support will benefit them, which is what I just said, that it will have a benefit. If you show willingness that you've got a problem and ask an acceptance of that problem, that's a big word, acceptance, so the better everybody gets used to it, then you will find the support and you will find that people are genuinely there to help you and not take your children away. So, if we move on, the You Use Your Children Lose campaign will highlight the plight of these children, which is a myriad of problems. It just goes on and on and on. But it's also trying to improve the lives of the whole family. It's a whole unit. It's not just the children that are affected. It's grandparents, so on. So it's a whole family, holistic look at treating this problem. And we want to try and break the cycle of hidden harm, which, if anybody's got any ideas how we can speak to parents and convince them that we are not there to take their children. If you want to tell me, I'll be really grateful, because I find it's a massive barrier. I've got no idea how to do it. If somebody can come up with it, then you're better than me. So we've moved on fairly quickly, because I don't know what to hang about. So questions from the audience. If you've got any questions, then don't ask me. No, that's not fair. You can either ask myself, Lindsey, Kate Tree Cooper, or Philippa Garden, because they're all responsible for this, so they're not getting away with it. And
We'll do our best to answer.
we will, yeah. But I think basically that is what we're trying to get across, and I've cut it a bit short, so I'm going to try and ad-lib a little bit.
Don't worry, John. Do you want to come and sit with us and
Not really, do I?
take some
Yeah, go on.
questions?